Greetings and welcome to episode 242 of the Words About Games podcast, the weekly video game news and culture podcast for Words About Games. I'm your host, Amy Kate Alexander, and I'm joined this week by Mr. Daffy Mooney. How you doing?
It's Friday. You know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. I am not bad. I'm not bad at all, Amy. I've had a okayish week, I won't lie. Like, you know what's been happening and everything like that, but it's been good.
Good.
I feel like I'm finally moving forward.
Well, I'll drink to that. Cheers.
Yeah.
I was going to grab a drink anyway. I don't have anything to talk about. Like, you know, we start these podcasts out and we always spend ages nattering.
About the most randomest shit, yeah.
Yeah. I don't have anything to natter with. My nose is itchy. Like, that's about all I got.
So depending on which culture it is, the nose means someone could be talking about you.
That's probably accurate.
Yeah.
I imagine a lot of people say things behind my back. Actually, don't even mention it. I know that's true. They say things. There are certain people in my life who will say things to other people in my life, with other people in my life who are present who will tell me what is said. And then they're always shocked when I don't really talk to them. The first people. There you go. I just drew you a map. Good luck figuring it out.
This makes sense, I promise you. I've solved it. Using hexadecimals. Don't know why I needed that.
Why hexadecimals? Why the fuck not?
Fuck not, yeah.
Yeah, like I've been kind of off everything for the past few days.
Yeah.
Like I've been researching a lot of H.P. Lovecraft for an upcoming video, which is just depressing as fuck because he's super racist, like hardcore, like racist, which is the reason why I'm doing the research. And it's like, oh man, this sucks. So then it's had the knock-on effect of I've just been sitting here playing Destruction All Stars with my phone like away, and just yeah.
Go on. So sorry.
No.
I'm going in. I apologize. Well, like I'm not even on social media anymore. Like,
I know, right?
Yeah, it
sucks.
Weird as hell. It's weird.
It sucks for me because, like, you know, we used to interact with each other all the time on Twitter, and now we don't. Now I've got to interact with Keith. It's like, come on.
You can still interact with him.
Did you not think about me when you did this?
No, Amy, no. I'm not going to lie there. I'm just going to be frank. No, I was thinking about me. I was thinking about me.
How dare you? To be fair, one of the reasons I went off social media was because I noticed someone I actually considered a friend had just decided to unfollow me. And given the timing of this unfollow and actions that we'll call the actions this person has taken in the past, I think I know why they unfollowed me. So that was like a double suck situation.
Do they work at Ubisoft?
They don't. No, this had nothing to do with Ubisoft. No, the timing was suspiciously close to the timing of my rant last week, shall we say? Even though it wasn't a rant, because it was well thought out. It must have been because I showed it to people before I tweeted it, and that kind of threw me for a loop. And I know they don't watch my content, so I know I can talk about it. It's fine.
Winner. What's that saying from Charlie Sheen? Winning.
I'm winning. I rooted out another person who
is a douche.
Might be a bit of a douche. It's fine.
Right.
That's what things like that are for. That's why weeks and weeks ago when we did the intro for the podcast and we just listed all the things we hate.
When I tweeted out, like, everyone knows many occasions of my love towards Last of Us Part 2, but I tweeted out myself, like, if your argument for how bad this game is because of an agenda, you've lost the argument type of thing. I saw a couple of people leave my tweet. I was like, oh, thank you.
Oh yeah, like it's good. That's actually good. I like it when that happens. When it's like, okay, I'm tweeting about trans issues, right? And it's like, oh, someone left. Good. Like if that's the line, yeah, go, it's fine. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's
sometimes you go, oh really? Like that person? But hey,
the good thing is that I never realized. I just saw the number go down. I just didn't realize who went, and I was just like, well, good riddance. If I knew who you were, I would find your name and just block you altogether, but it's all good.
Yeah, it's fine.
We're good.
But it kind of threw me in a bit of a funk. A social media funk. So.
Yeah, I won't lie. I still get I'm like I said to you, I'm cold turkey in it right now. So like I'm still like getting a little bit like I realize now I'm getting into a new addiction. Basically, I was obviously I have 2 monitors and everything like that. So basically, both monitors will have YouTube on.
I'm like, ahead of you on that one.
Listen to one thing and then randomly just checking what am I going to listen to next type of thing.
Can I interest you in video essays, really? Like they're the future of YouTube, even though they're the past of YouTube, but they're the future of YouTube. I watched Sarah Z's new video, which was an hour and a half. It was an hour and a half video about Twilight fandom. It's brilliant. I loved it. I love shit like that. Like I can happily sit down and watch like hours long videos about stuff. Like the Vampire Diaries video you saw when I tweeted that. Yeah. I was like, that video is amazing. Like, yeah. It's what YouTube's for, Mooney. People are always surprised when they're like, oh, so you like games? Yeah. And you're a gaming podcaster? Yeah. And you're a streamer? Yeah. And oh, you do gaming on stuff on YouTube? Yeah. Like what gaming channels and podcasts do you watch?
None.
None, really?
Yeah.
No clip. And then they're always like, what's no clip? And I'm always like, oh my sweet summer child. Let me introduce you to the concept of video game documentaries. This isn't about video game documentaries today, Mooney. This is about so many things. In this week's episode, we discuss Google Stadia closing its internal development studios, the director of the Ori series criticizing developers for overhyping their games, Warner Brothers trying to patent the Nemesis system, and more. As always, there are timestamps in the description below the video on YouTube and also wherever you get your podcasts on an audio platform. There's timestamps there. I don't know how they work. I know how they work on YouTube because you just click it and it goes boop and it takes you to the thing. I assume that's how it works on like iTunes and Spotify and stuff. But they're there, so if you want to skip stuff or you want to skip straight to certain things, yeah, go for it. We don't mind.
Yeah, if you set it up on Podbeam like you do, it'll transfer what you've put to the other ones. So
yeah, we don't mind. We're just happy that you're here.
Yeah, we're always happy that you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Doing the good, doing the bad, doing the mediocre days. Ugly. We're always happy that you are here.
There's definitely ugly days, I'd say, as well.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, we have some ugly podcasts sometimes.
But even though there's some crazy-ass news and some lot of news, I think we're going to have a fun time.
I don't think this is a bad one. We've got a lot of things to talk about. There are some bad things in here that are bad. Companies bad. But, and also, bonus, you don't get 30 minutes of me and Moody trying to understand the stock exchange.
Oh my god, that I won't lie. I think by the end of that episode, my brain was fried. Well, after that segment, I can't remember after that segment.
No, I'm the same, right? About. It's like I looked up the episode number, like to make sure I got the number right, and like literally the title of the podcast is like Reddit versus Wall Street, and I was like, yeah, I remember talking about that. I don't remember any of the other things that we talked about last week.
Yeah, I think did I rant about another studio being crap and terrible?
Oh yeah, there was a studio, their founder and their CEO and their CFO were shit.
Douchebags,
Yeah. That was one. But yeah, it was just GameStonk, right?
Yeah.
Which is what it's called now on the internet. It's GameStonk. Go figure. But let's talk about Google instead, because we love Google. Google Stadia is closing its internal studios, and Jade Raymond is leaving. This is from Andy Chuck over at PC Gamer. He writes, Google announced that it's closing its internal Stadia game development studios and shifting its focus to the further development of Stadia's streaming platform and technology instead. Assassin's Creed co-creator Jade Raymond, who joined Google in 2019 to head up its development operations, is leaving the company as a result of the change. Quote, given our focus on building on the proven technology of Stadia as well as deepening our business partnerships, we've decided that we will not be investing further in bringing exclusive content from our internal development team, SG&E, beyond any near-term planned games. Over the coming months, most of the SG&E team will be moving on to new roles. We're committed to working with this talented team to find new roles and support them. That was Stadia boss Phil Harrison talking. The Stadia platform itself will continue to operate as it has, with both a free basic service and subscription-based Stadia Pro offering. But the focus going forward will be on helping external developers and publishers take advantage of the technology, which Harrison said is the best path to building Stadia into a long-term sustainable business that helps grow the industry. Quote, we're committed to the future of cloud gaming and will continue to do our part to drive this industry forward. Our goal remains focused on creating the best possible platform for gamers and technology for our partners, bringing these experiences to life for people everywhere. End quote. According to Kotaku, which broke the news of the closure before it was officially announced, the closure will affect roughly 150 developers. Google did not reveal details about which, if any, in-development projects will be halted by the shutdown. You're muted. You know, it's yeah. Just push the button. Just push the button.
So first of all, like I said, that no one heard the first time, I want to shout out Insomniac Games because they literally tweeted out basically, like I think shortly after this, that saying, we've got jobs available. You're looking for a job, hit us up type of thing. Send us your CVs out and everything like that. So shout out to them. And I think a couple of more have done that as well. So shout out to them for that. It's an amazing thing to do to show that even though crappy times like this, the companies will come together to help out as best they can. So which is obviously good. Terribly disappointing for all the developers who have worked on this and everything like that. And I do hope they all land on their feet as fast as possible. Are we surprised by this? Let's just be frank and honest here. We're not actually surprised. I don't think I've heard anyone say they're surprised by this or anything like this. They're getting ready for the end of this. They're trying something new. They're re-pivoting type of thing. Basically like Friends, pivot type of thing. And that's all they're doing is shout and pivot all the time until they finally will land on the part of, let's just shut this thing down. They've given it a try. Well, did they actually give it a really good hard-ass try? They never really did, they never really at all. And Phil Harrison, like... The guy's like, he was there for PlayStation 3, he left, so he's like, my job is done.
My job here is done.
Over the Xbox, when the Xbox One comes out,
my job here is done.
And he's gone on the Stadia, and I will not be surprised if we hear that Phil Harrison leaves eventually. And we're just going to be saying the same thing. His job is done while the thing is burning down, basically. And it sucks. I'm just... this had so much potential. Let's just be frank. This had a lot of potential. And I do think there's still a chance for this type of thing to truly go into something great. Xbox has shown it really can work, but they're taking really good baby steps. And they're also giving you games to play on the bugger. That helps as well. But yeah, this had a bad taste in it right from the beginning. And it just continued to go.
Well, we asked the question almost immediately that I feel like was never truly answered by Google, which is, who is this for? And we never were able to find an answer for that. And it turns out Google was never able to find an answer for that either. It's like, who is this for? Like, it's for people who don't need it. which was the answer we came to when we tried to figure it out. I also just want to point out that on top of Phil Harrison, I crawl through his Wikipedia really quickly. On top of Phil Harrison being involved with the PlayStation 3 launch, the Xbox One launch, and the Google Stadia launch, he also worked for Gaikai for a while, right before they almost went under and got bought by Sony.
God. So Sony sent them to Gaikai so they could buy it on a cheaper price.
There's an amazing joke in The Good Place. There's an amazing joke in The Good Place where one of the evil characters is just like, there's a reason I took the form of a 45-year-old white man. I can only fail upwards. And I mean...
oh, God.
And I mean...
Yeah. He's gone from $1 trillion company to another $1 trillion company.
I don't have anything personally against Phil Harrison, and I don't know the man personally, but how does this keep happening?
How does he sell himself so well to be able to get hired?
I don't know. He launched the PS3, which was the only, comparative to, the other PlayStations, is the only one that did really badly, especially at launch. The Xbox One, where he took the market leader, not including Nintendo, the market leader and took them in the second place. Stadia didn't even release any games. It makes me laugh at his thing that he wrote, where he was like, we've decided we will not be investing further in bringing exclusive content from our internal development team. It's further? The word further is doing some work in that sentence. You didn't give us any exclusive games. The games that the Google Stadia internal development team are working on, I don't think they've ever been announced. I don't know what they are. They've had some exclusives. They've had some timed exclusives from third parties. A few indie games. But even games that were even games after that initial Stadia push, which were being heavily promoted by Stadia, like Baldur's Gate 3, even they had the good sense to be yeah, we're gonna be on Steam as well.
Yeah. This is the thing, really, that should have waited a year and come out when come out when Valhalla came out last year, because they were trying to push it. You can play Valhalla and Odyssey. I was thinking, Odyssey came out last year, dude. I've played it. I'm done. I love the game. I love Odyssey. I've said that many times, but I'm just I played it. I'm not going back. I'm not going to rebuy it to play on your thing. No, go away.
You want me to, yeah, exactly. It's you want me to buy the games for your streaming service? Even if I've got a pro subscription. Why? I have a PlayStation 5. Why would I do that? The time I had a PlayStation 4 and an Xbox One X. Mm-hmm. Why would I do that?
Yeah. Obviously, the thing that's the terrible marketing and the terrible whole shebang with it has been absolutely disastrous. But then you've got Microsoft with Game Pass just come out and they've just spanked them so easily.
Yeah.
And it's funny when it comes to that, and it's
we can see the future of game streaming in services like Game Pass for Android, and on Switch, where it's that's how you play Hitman 3. You would never be able to play Hitman 3 on Switch, but you can play Hitman 3 on Switch because it's cloud streaming. That opens up Switch to actually have a bunch of these PS5 and Xbox Series X games, third-party games, to actually be playable on the Switch console. That you can see avenues of the future. I think the problem is with Google's future was they were trying to put themselves out there as saying you can get this service and never need another console again, which had some flaws, one of them being very few of the brand new released games were actually coming out on Stadia. And two, that strategy is not going to work until everyone has internet fast enough to be able to play Stadia. As I most infamously proved sometime last year, it's Stadia is great if you have the internet for it.
And got criticised for not having the internet for it.
I hate to point that out again, but not everybody's got the internet. In fact, I'd go so far as to say the majority of people don't have the internet to use Stadia.
Yeah. That's why Game Pass has a double. It allows you to download the games and everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
Yeah. Like, that's why
there is.
Sony doesn't push PlayStation Now that hard. Because people might accidentally sign up for it and then have terrible experiences and blame PlayStation Now. So they just kind of have it off to the side and don't mention it all that much.
It's like that one uncle.
My uncle that works at Nintendo. Oh, bringing back all the oldies. Speaking of that one uncle.
Oh, the segues tonight, Amy.
Oh, I'm on fire tonight. Ori director criticises developers for overhyping games with lies and deception. This is from Marie DeLisandri over at GamesIndustry.biz, who writes, Moon Studios CEO and Ori game director Thomas Meller called out other studios for misrepresenting their games ahead of launch. In a long Reset Era post titled, quote, why are gamers so eager to trust and forgive the snake oil salesman, end quote. Mailer particularly targeted industry veteran Peter Molyneux, No Man's Sky developer Sean Murray, and Cyberpunk 2077 studio CD Projekt Red. He accused them of lies and deception, selling features that don't exist, and, by overhyping their games, making fools of the players. He also criticised journalists for, quote, happily playing along each and every single time, end quote. Preempting criticism from readers, he added that he's not being bitter or shitting on other devs, but that he is, quote, shitting on liars and people that are okay with openly deceiving others, end quote. Quote, it all started with Molyneux, Mailer wrote. He was the master of, instead of telling you what my product is, let me just go wild with what I think it could be and get you all excited. And that was fine until you actually put your money down and the game was nothing like what Peter was hyping it up to be, end quote. He then attacked Sean Murray, saying that Hello Games MD seemed to have learned straight from the Peter Molyneux handbook and that he apparently loved the spotlight. Mailer argued that at launch, No Man's Sky was nothing like what Murray hyped it up to be. He also called out his industry peers for forgiving Hello Games after the studio released updates to introduce missing features. Quote, they released a bunch of updates, so let's forget about the initial lies and deception and hey, let's actually shower him with awards again, because he finally kinda sorta delivered on what he said the game would be years earlier. Thanks, Jeff Keighley. Rewarding that kind of behaviour will surely help the industry grow stronger, end quote. Finally, he criticised CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk 2077 only being a fraction of what the developer hyped it up to be, adding that the studio's PR department, quote, took all the cues from what worked for Molyneux and Murray and just went completely apeshit with it. Every video released by CDPR was carefully crafted to create a picture in players' minds that was just insanely compelling. They stopped just short of outright saying that this thing would cure cancer, end quote. Continuing his rant, he said that this type of behaviour from game developers is wrong and shouldn't happen anymore. Quote, don't paint a picture that you'll not be able to deliver, just don't fucking lie to me. You're fucking over gamers, you're fucking over journalists that should know better, so shame on you, and you're fucking over other developers, end quote. Is there anyone he didn't talk shit about?
EA, Ubisoft, Activision.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with EA, Ubisoft, and Activision. Come on, it's all about 12 persons developing studio Hello Games. Like,
wow, yeah, he went to town. Like, seriously went to town. Okay. No Man's Sky, we all know, has a very, very long history of all the overhypeness and everything.
Let's break this down piece by piece.
Yeah, I think that's the only way we can do this, basically. So, going for No Man's Sky. Tell me if I'm wrong here, and I know you will. That's why I love you so much. I do believe Sean Murray has come out and says it was overhyped. We messed up, type of thing.
Yes, correct.
So I do see where who is this? Thomas
Mahler.
Thomas Mahler is coming from. I understand that type of thing, but I also, for me, I'll always take my cap off to a person who comes out and says, "We fucked up. I apologize for this. We're going to get this sorted." And all points to leading towards, especially what you've told me before, They have hit what they've always meant to be when it came to No Man's Sky. Yes, it took some time. Yes, the game should have just probably been delayed until it was truly ready. I'll never deny that. Never deny that. That should always happen in everything. That's why I'm always mixed when it comes to games of a service, because they're always holding back content so they can try and get you back in 3 or 6 months bloody later type of thing.
If only that was the case with Avengers.
Yeah, where's the Avengers hit, man? Come on, Thomas. Come on, dude. But yeah, so I see where he's coming from both ends, but I do take my cap off to Sean Murray. He has come out and apologized, and they have fixed it.
Yeah, I mean,
all purposes.
The game should have come out in early access. I think we said that.
Even that, yeah. They should have just done that. Yeah.
But, like, yeah, it's like Sean Murray did come out. He actually said a bunch of things that were an apology, a proper apology, not an Activision Blizzard apology. And wow, I'm just taking that Thomas Miller energy and I am just shooting it at the people who actually deserve it. But like, yeah, it's like Sean Murray knows his mistakes and he admitted his mistakes. Like his mistakes were talking enthusiastically about what he wanted the game to be, not necessarily what the game actually was.
Yeah, like going on one of those big talk shows in America, he should never have done. He should have stayed away from that bugger. Yeah,
he also had no PR. So like, as much as I do criticize Sean Murray for doing and saying the things that he did, he had no PR, he had no PR training, and Sony kind of left him to hang. Like, because they were heavily pushing the game before it came out.
What was it? It closed an E3 or closed the PlayStation experience.
It did something. It was at a PlayStation thing. I don't know when it was. I think it was when PlayStation was still quite bad at E3s. Because it was that weird period before they got really good at them, that they were quite bad at them. And I tend to forget those ones. But yeah, it's just like, I mean, maybe not go so hard on. And like, the thing about giving it awards, I mean, it's an award category called like best ongoing game. Like, No Man's Sky is one of the best ongoing games. Sorry, Thomas.
Yeah, it does deserve the love of finally getting there. And like say, if he didn't own up into his mistakes, I'll be right there with you, Thomas, and I'll be saying, yeah, you should not be getting all this love. That shame on you, Jeff Keighley type of thing. And Jeff Keighley's already gets love and hate from both of us on the many occasions from we talk about him and everything like that. But I don't think Jeff Keighley's done anything wrong when it comes to this and everything like that. But
also he doesn't nominate the games.
There's that as well.
Or choose who wins the awards.
yeah, that's the thing. I think people really keep forgetting that, which is weird.
Weird, isn't it?
He only won one award, and that is the best game award, and he only has one vote. There aren't 20,000 Jeff Keighley's to vote for the game he won. Because if there was, Death Stranding would have won that game.
Death Stranding would have won everything, all the time, ever.
So I think we broke down the.
I get what I get what Thomas Miller is saying. Right? It's just like don't release a game that you say is one thing but is actually another thing. Like I get it, I get that,
I understand that. Yeah. Who do you want to go to next, Peter Molyneux or Cyberpunk?
Let's go back in time because Peter Molyneux. I haven't thought about Peter Molyneux in a long time, Moody.
I'm trying to remember who this guy is.
This is the guy that promised
this guy. Yeah,
Fable was going to be.
Yeah, he was just like, I'm just pressing this button, one button. Is that type of thing in it, wasn't it? Yeah.
No, I mean, that wasn't so much of a revolutionary thing. It was just one button combat, and Fable 3 did have one button combat, and it was bad. It was very bad.
The bugger has an OBE.
Yeah.
Is that Queen just dishing them out to anybody these days?
I mean, Fable. For all of the things that Fable and Fable 2 were not anywhere near the games Molyneux said they would be, like, I mean, they were still pretty popular games, right? Like
That is true, yeah. And now his studio is...
I actually liked Fable 2.
Now dead.
Yeah.
Peter Molyneux he's a guy who overhypes like crazy. We all know this. And he's I think he's the full-on architect of the meaning of overhypeness.
he's the guy that, like, if you look it up in a dictionary, like, it's his face. Because I'm reading his Wikipedia now. I'm crawling through his Wikipedia, and like, I'm thinking, I was remembering Fable, right? Like, I was so excited for the Fable games. like especially the first two, because they were going to be. And I was a teenager, right? So I didn't know any better about like snake oil salesmen, as Thomas Mailer called them. So I was just like, oh my god, this is gonna be the game. This is gonna be the only game I'm ever gonna need to play, right? And then obviously they weren't anything like that, and my disappointment knows no end. It's still going. I'm still disappointed in Fable. But I've just gone on his Wikipedia, and it's just reminded me about the fucking thing with the cube. Do you remember the cube?
No.
Oh wait, it was like, what's in the cube? And it was like a cube, and everybody could go and chip away at the cube.
It must have been around when I had my gap between gaming.
Oh my god, it was the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I can't like I for everyone to know, like I have a gap where I pretty much missed the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Yeah, I came back at the end when the PlayStation 4 was about to start.
Yeah, so like you could go and you could do the cube, right? Curiosity, what's inside the cube? It was called, and everybody logged in and they chipped away at the cube, and you could like start from anywhere. It was a really big cube, and like you could like chip away, and whoever got into the middle first won the prize. But nobody knew what the prize was. What's in the cube? Peter Molyneux was like, it's gonna be amazing. And those of us who were old enough to remember were like, it's not gonna be amazing. But it might be, and that's the problem. So everybody was chipping away at this thing. And then I can't remember what was in the cube. I can't remember what was in the cube. I'm going to click it because it'll tell me. Because I remember someone actually getting into it. It was like, he said it was going to be life-changing. And then it was someone called Brian Henderson from Scotland managed to get in May 2013. The winner was identified. He was given the option to either keep the contents of the cube to himself or share it with the public. Molyneux announced that Henderson opted to share the prize. According to the video that Henderson saw in 22 cans posted on YouTube the day the experiment ended, the contents inside of the cube included the ability to be the sole all-powerful digital god within 22 cans' upcoming release of Godus, and to reap a small portion of all of the incoming revenue that was brought in by the game. I guess in theory it's a good prize. The problem was, Moody, Godus never came out.
Oh my god.
According to this, like Henderson, as of January 2015, Henderson received little to no contact with 22 cans. And in light of recent departures from the studio, along with lasting issues with multiplayer, Henderson likely won't be able to collect any portion of the game at all, and once he does, it will only be for 6 months or less if another player overthrows him, which was a thing you could apparently do. Like, people could then overthrow the person who won the thing. It was a whole thing. And, like, I don't know what that had to do with the news story. I just remembered it, and I feel like I needed to inflict the memory of that on other people.
It's just I think that's a perfect metaphor of Peter Molyneux in itself, that he overhyped a cube for nothing, and that's what he is. And that's just what this whole statement is, like complete overhyping the games and lying deceptions. And Peter Molyneux is arguably one of the biggest architects of all of this. And
I tell a lie. Godus did get released into early access on Steam. It never left early access on Steam, and according to this, no one plays it. Like in 2016, it was reported that there's literally no one playing it anyway. So
bloody hell. So yeah, I think that's a perfect wrap up for Peter Molyneux. And let's get into the thing that we've loved talking about in 2021, Amy, because we finished talking about it in 2020 as well.
Fucking stab
Cyberpunk 2077 and the studio CD Projekt Red.
Thanks, Thomas. We were just you broke the streak.
Yeah, we know they lied. We know this. They, like with my rank a couple of weeks ago, also threw their QA under the bus. They completely lied to all of us, and that's basically the gist of it. And it is, they overhyped this game. Like, going from the article from Jason Snyder, that was like, what was the 2018 demo or the 2017 demo was fake, basically. The whole thing was just a complete mess in the rain that the game should have come out in 2022 at the earliest. It should have been maybe even later than that. But yeah, it's a whole thing about it. But I'll give credit also for Thomas here that journalists, you are just as liable to this lie and everything. The amount of shit you allow studios and everything to get away with just so you can get the exclusive rights to get the piece on for this game or talk about this game so you can do market this game and everything on your site. It's like it's a whole thing of that journalistic integrity is very low sometimes, but we've seen things where it's at the highest, where journalists have come together to help the lady who was basically getting people trying to kill her because the game caused epileptic fits and everything. And we saw the journalists all coming together to band together and tell everyone to piss right off and everything, and the idiot who was trying to orchestrate this and all that, and it was just a whole thing. And don't be deceitful and don't lie, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it would have been,
especially in the industry.
It would have been nice if certain journalist sites, not all of them, hadn't just 100% decided their entire job was to feed into the Cyberpunk 2077 hype machine, and actually, used a little bit of critical thinking when it came to the things that they were seeing from CD Projekt Red that some of us out here in the wild west of game criticism might have been pointing out for a very long time. Who could have been doing that? Should give Keith a call, actually.
She's not wrong now, Liz Down. She is not wrong.
Yeah, and I'm not the sole person who was doing it, but at the same time, it's like when it's the little voices going, hey, what about this? And then it's the big voices, like your IGNs and your GameSpots, just going, but it's going to change your life. Like, essentially, they were like the Peter Molyneux of Cyberpunk 2077. It's going to be life-changing.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be a life-changing event. Look, Keanu's in it.
They are a little bit, yeah.
But what about the transphobia and the racism? But Keanu's going to be in it. Like that Simpsons episode with the doll, but she's got a new hat.
Shout out to Sterling.
Yeah.
They've called it out like how it is, and shout out to them.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give that. Polygon did a pretty good job as well.
Yeah. So did Bloomberg, Jason Snyder. I think his article was really good.
Jason Schreier was getting shit from influencers for just basically not letting CD Projekt Red off the hook about crunch, and it's just like, yeah, fine. You shouldn't. No one should. For any reason. Like, you can think a game is going to be good and be excited for a game and still be critical of the company making the game. Like, those two things aren't mutually exclusive.
Yep. Like I've said many times, I've said it twice, or the second time I'm going to bring it up. I loved Last of Us Part 2. Naughty Dog were condemned by me for the QA, for the testing and everything, and the crunch and the whole shebang when it came to that game.
It's crazy.
It was crazy when it came to that, and they should never have done that.
No, they shouldn't.
And they deserved the backlash for that type of crunch, what they did for the game. But they still gave out a game which is arguably the best game of the last 2 years in general for me. But
just don't do it again. Don't do it again.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, don't do it again. I'm watching you, Neil Druckmann. I'm not, but
neither am I. Actually, I unfollowed him because he follows J.K. Rowling on Twitter. But we're sort of watching places that talk about you. Yeah. How about that? Yeah. We should. Yeah.
And I'm not looking. Actually, I'm not following you because I'm not on social media anymore. So I'm good.
Oh, you're gonna get all your news from me.
It's like when you share clips. Sorry, no. So, but when you share clips in our chat, that's on Twitter. I just click on it and it comes up. Do you want to sign in? Nope. What is it?
Someone might have burned into Resident Evil.
I saw Sophia that she was like, "Oh my god."
I only share the best stuff on our group chat. Like, I don't share any of the news. I just share the stupid shit. the news comes in this podcast.
That's true.
Like PlayStation 5 sold 4.5 million units in less than 2 months. This is from Matthew Handrahan over at GamesIndustry.biz, who writes, the PlayStation 5 sold 4.5 million units in the holiday quarter, despite supply shortages making the hardware difficult to find. While Sony Interactive Entertainment had already said that the PlayStation 5 launch set a new record, Sony Corp's third quarter results offered the first official sales figures. The new console hit 4.5 billion units less than 2 months after its launch on November 13th, 2020. The PlayStation 4 also sold 1.4 million units during the quarter. Sony Interactive Entertainment's operating income was hampered by the cost of production of the PS5. According to Sony, quote, strategic price points for PS5 hardware were set lower than the manufacturing costs, end quote. Even with the new console launch, the majority of SIA's revenue still came from software, which helped to balance the impact of selling the PS5 at a loss. PlayStation Plus hit 47.4 million subscribers during the third quarter, up from 38.3 million in the same quarter last year, with 114 million MAUs. What that stand for again? Monthly active users across the network. And then I added a second story to the end of this story from GamesIndustry.biz because I thought they're the same thing.
Yeah,
so I'll just add it on. Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales sold 4.1 million units worldwide in a month and a half. Having launched on November 12th, Insomniac's game had shifted these copies by December 31st, 2020, Sony said in its earnings call. Spider-Man Miles Morales was the PS5's biggest launch game in the UK, though sales didn't quite reach the height of 2018's Marvel's Spider-Man in the country. The title debuted at number 3 in the UK charts, with 71% of its sales going to PS5. Sales for the title were boosted around Christmas with a 46% rise that helped it climb to number 6.
Woo woo.
Hi,
numbers! PlayStation have sold a lot of PlayStation 5s. What a surprise. Congrats.
Imagine if they made enough for everyone who wanted one. They'd have lost even more money.
Congratulations, Sony. You've put out a cracking console, what Amy tells me, what everyone else tells me. And with the demand for the bloody consoles, it seems like everybody's basically wanting one of them. How about you sort out your system so you can sell more consoles and everything?
I still feel really bad for the fact that when the PS5 came out and you probably didn't want to hear anything about it, you had to set on a podcast for an hour and a half with me talking about PlayStation 5.
Doesn't bother me. I don't care about that whatsoever. Congratulations to Miles Morales and Insomniac. That's the Miles Morales game. I really loved that game. I thought it was one of my favorite games of the year. I gave it a big shout out in our best games of the year list. And it deserves it. Insomniac have done some fantastic games over the last few years, and they just keep on pumping out some great games. And I'm looking forward to see what they do next, which is probably Spider-Man 2, which will hopefully we might see sometime maybe this year, for sometime next year or the year after for when it releases. But who knows? We'll see what happens when Sony want to actually talk about it. But
you're forgetting Ratchet and Clank, A Rift Apart.
No, it's Ratchet and Clank. I know. They're dropping another game this year, which is going to be probably just as great, which is going to get some beautiful points on Fantasy Critic and everything like that, so it's all good.
I'm not worried if that's what that look was about.
I'm not worried either, I mean, don't worry.
I have the game with the tall vampire lady in it. I have the game everybody's been talking about.
This is where you don't want the journalists to have integrity for that game, do you? It has a tall vampire lady and it's a 10 out of 10, guys.
Come on. It's also a pretty good game.
We hope.
Yeah, no, that's everything. I guess you said everything I would have said. Congrats, Sony. Thanks for selling the console at a loss so like people like me could actually afford to buy one. Really appreciate it. I imagine
stocking issues.
I imagine you're making the money back off of me being a PS Plus subscriber for that sweet. For like they've killed it for the last 2 months on the free games front, like the PS Plus games front, and then obviously there's the PS Plus collection as well. Which if I didn't already own Bloodborne, I would have made use of over Christmas.
Yeah,
but I did already own that game, so it's like, well. Yeah, and also sort out your stocking issues because Mooney wants one too.
My nephew wants one. I want one. Everybody wants one, but just 2 for me and my nephew, please, though.
Yeah, just two. Just send. In fact, you know what? Call me. We'll work something out. Sticking with the PlayStation theme. MLB The Show is coming to both PlayStation and Xbox consoles on April 20th. This is from Taylor Lyles over at The Verge, who writes, "We already knew Sony's beloved sports exclusive MLB The Show would release on additional consoles as early as 2021. Today, Sony announced that MLB The Show 21 will release on April 20th on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S. This is the first entry on the MLB The Show series that will release on Microsoft's home consoles, but Sony isn't just offering the game on the Xbox for the first time. MLB The Show 21 will also support full cross-platform progression, cross-saves, and online multiplayer between PlayStation and Xbox consoles. Similar to other cross-gen titles like Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, Madden NFL 21, and NBA 2K21, MLB The Show 21 will retail for different prices depending on which version you buy. If you get the standard edition on PS4, Xbox One, it will cost $60. On PS5 or Xbox Series X/S, it'll cost $70. If you purchase the standard edition on last gen, PS4 or Xbox One, and upgrade to a next-gen console, you won't be able to upgrade your copy of the game to the PS5 or Xbox Series X/S version. However, Sony's FAQ page revealed that if you buy the collector's edition of MLB The Show 21, you'll receive both the current and next-gen versions of the game. That last part's confusing. It's not really the part I want to talk about, though. PlayStation Studio. I want to talk about the fact that like you could get this disc on your Xbox and you could put it in your Xbox and then it could go, PlayStation Studios. We totally didn't copy Marvel. Bah, 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 bah. The PlayStation Studios logo. I've seen it a bunch when I've been playing Destruction's All Stars.
I know. It's very marvelous.
I'd forgotten about it until I started playing Destruction All Stars, and then I was like, I forgot about it. Like, lol.
This I hear nothing but great things about the game, MLB and everything like that. But this was a bit of a surprise. So obviously, Microsoft and Sony are talking, and they're obviously. I'm wondering, is there a Microsoft exclusive coming over to PlayStation down the line? Maybe.
Yeah, it's called Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. You're probably right there, or it's Starfield. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, this is probably how they're doing it. You might be right there, Amy. I'm not gonna lie.
So anyway, like shit, we were gonna buy the exclusivity for all of these games. And Microsoft went, well, we just bought the fucking studio, so fuck you.
Yeah. Fuck you, boys.
I'm sure that's not how it went, but yeah, no, like there will be Xbox Game Studios games coming out on PS5. There already are. There's like Minecraft and stuff, but yeah, like it's just nice. It's just nice.
It's nice to see they are talking and that they can collab a little bit.
Like, oh, it is possible. Oh, cross progression, cross saves is possible between different consoles. Like, great.
Yay.
I wish some other developers Respawn.
Would hurry the fuck up about it.
Respawn would actually do something with that. But yeah, it's like, this is cool. When it happened and it was announced, I saw Xbox 360 trending on Twitter. And I clicked it. I didn't know anything about MLB 21 at the time. And then it was a bunch of very excited fans who were like, I could finally get rid of my Xbox 360 with whatever. There was like a 2014 baseball game, which was like the last baseball game that was released on an Xbox console. And I was like, oh, that's kind of nice.
It's kind of neat. That is kind of neat, that. I'm not going to lie. That's really funny.
Yeah.
Well, however, people have Wii's just to play Just Dance. So yeah, that's funny. That, but no, yeah.
I have a PS2.
I don't think this would. No, well, that's just frank. We know this ain't going to blow up with the doors where if all games are going to come cross-platform or anything like that for everybody and everything like that. We know this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just be frank and just be...
if like Horizon or fucking God of War or something was like also available on Xbox Series S, I will shit myself inside out.
The world would shatter if that actually happened. Or if we heard Halo was going to PlayStation 5 and everything like that, the world would flipping end.
I mean, to be honest, the world is ending and nothing makes sense anymore. So I guess
it could actually
happen. The rumors come back. There's been rumors this week about Sega again being bought because they're doing a corporate restructure. So the rumors come back about Sega being bought by Microsoft, and then someone threw in Konami into the mix, and it was just like, oh, for fuck's sake, not again. But yeah, this is cool. This is fun. Like, I like this on so many levels, and this is the kind of games industry I want to see. Where it's just like, cool, there are no baseball games on Xbox, so everybody who has an Xbox who likes baseball is going to buy the game. So even for PlayStation, this is just a no-brainer.
It really is, yeah.
I don't know about this upgrade system, though. Like, it's a bit iffy to me. But...
It's a bit iffy, yeah. I won't lie there.
Move on. Speaking of a bit iffy, Riot pushes for out-of-court settlement in gender discrimination suit. Moody, it's Groundhog Day. I think we're in Groundhog Day. I'm sure I've read that headline before. This is from Emma Kent over at Eurogamer. He writes, the gender discrimination... Moody's just like, right, ready to go? Right, yep. The gender discrimination class action lawsuit against Riot Games is still rumbling on, and it seems Riot is once again attempting to settle the dispute outside of court, as the company is now seeking individual arbitration. The motion for individual arbitration, if approved by the court, would compel the plaintiffs to resolve the suit before a private judge. This would likely take the case out of public view and force the women involved to battle the company individually. Riot initially attempted to enforce mandatory individual arbitration back in 2019, arguing that some of the plaintiffs involved had waived their right to sue due to a clause in their employment contracts. The company faced huge backlash for doing so. Over 150 employees walked out to protest the forced arbitration system. Riot eventually promised an end to mandatory arbitration for new employees and made a class action settlement offer of $10 million. This, in turn, was rejected in February last year after a fresh legal team was brought in to represent the class action plaintiffs, with Riot having to deny allegations it colluded with the plaintiffs' counsel to reach the preliminary settlement via GamesIndustry.biz. One state agency claimed the women could actually be entitled to over $400 million. Quote, now that Riot knows it can't settle the case on the cheap, it wants to force Riot women into arbitration, preventing the women from fighting together as a group against the company, said the plaintiff's counsel Jeannie Harrison. If Riot succeeds, it will pay a private judge huge amounts of money to decide the fate of the women's claims, and all that will happen in secret, with Riot's discriminatory conduct hidden from the public. End quote. According to a press release, the court is currently determining whether Riot's previous attempt to settle the class action lawsuit amounts to a waiver of the mandatory individual arbitration clause included in most of the plaintiff's employment contracts. End quote. Whatever. That's the end of the story.
Riot, no, they have something on them. Like, a lot on them. And they're like, shit. We have to settle and keep this private as fuck. Or we're losing all of our staff and probably anyone who wants to come and work for this game, for our game and everything like that. They are like, we got to keep this quiet as quick as possible here. And, oh God, they are trying. Man. They are trying. But just, Riot, I'll just say this. If you trying this just makes you look even more shady.
Also,
you idiots.
Also, it's the Streisand effect because now we're talking about it again.
Yes, we're talking about you again. We didn't want to talk about you.
No,
really.
We did this last year. As the story points out, we did this last February, Riot.
Yeah.
People
Riot.
walked out. You tried to offer them $10 million, but you also colluded, allegedly. Sorry, Keith. You also allegedly colluded with the plaintiff's counsel, which is not something you do if you think you're doing the right thing. And then also it turns out they might be owed 40 times the amount of money you owe them. You offered them.
This also tells me they are shit scared of their counsel, Gina Harris.
Jeannie Harrison. Yeah, they should be shit
she
scared
is
of Jeannie Harrison.
shit out of it. She's like, they're like, oh shit, she has shit on us.
Jeannie Harrison knows she's going to get fucking paid a lot of money from this.
Hell yeah.
Riot, as everyone conveniently keeps forgetting, is one of the biggest companies in the world.
But just releasing one game.
Like, just from one IP. It's like...
Yeah.
And it's just like, we've been... 2018, the story broke about everything, all the shit that goes on at Riot. And then, like, they said a bunch of stuff. They did a bunch of stuff. And I remember saying to Keith on a podcast, like, you know what? Words are cheap. And we'll see what they do next. Keith's not here to see the chickens come home to roost, Moody, but you're here. So here's the chickens. On Twitter
for one day just to send a message. The
chickens have come home to roost.
Come home to roost, Keith. He's just like,
again? What's with all these weird tweets from Moody? Like, it's just...
Wait, I thought he left.
Yeah. It's just really fucking annoying when it's like, I want to believe that you want to do the right things, Riot, but you never quite do you?
Nope.
I
says you're trying to settle out.
You're trying to settle out. You're trying to settle in private. You're trying to make everybody... You're trying to force everyone involved to settle individually instead of together, which, will weaken... I imagine all of I think it's 4, but I'm not gonna. All of the individual defenses, divide and conquer is a saying for a reason, and it's just shitty. And
hopefully the judge will say, "Fuck you."
You're a shitty company with a lot of money. Speaking of shitty companies with a lot of money.
Oh, Amy, you are on fire with these segues today.
Fire tonight. Amazon is reportedly spending nearly $500 million a year on its video game division. It's almost the budget of Star Citizen. This is from Eric Van Allen over at GamesIndustry.biz, who writes, Amazon's video game division has been struggling to get off the ground, and a report from Bloomberg indicates just how much has been spent trying to make it happen. That's right, people. This is a Jason Schreier story. Two sources familiar with Amazon's budget told Bloomberg that the tech giant is spending nearly $500 million a year operating the video game division. This does not include Twitch, the streaming service that Amazon bought in 2014, nor its cloud streaming service, Amazon Luna. Amazon has brought in a number of video game veterans since first setting up its development operation, including Portal designer Kim Swift and Far Cry 2 director Clint Hocking, neither of whom is still with the company. The Bloomberg report details issues within Amazon, including lack of incentives, struggles with its lumberyard engine, and an internal bro culture where women were not afforded the same opportunities as their male counterparts, according to interviews with over 30 current and former Amazon employees. Amazon's struggles to launch a game include cancelling a number of projects, including fantasy sports game Breakaway and recently the hero shooter Crucible. Its MMORPG New Worlds was delayed out of 2020 and is currently set to go live this spring. I don't believe that's going to come out this spring. Amazon found out that game design is hard. And apparently you can't just throw money at it to make it easier.
Nope, not
Imagine
really.
that.
Yeah, I'm just going to say what I said offline. Oh, another company is throwing in millions of dollars to try and just make themselves even more richer. Where they already are $1 trillion company could arguably help save a bit of the economy, if not save the economy. So literally Amazon, even though I use your site all the time when it comes to like buying stuff, because, I won't lie, it's a good site. I won't lie there. But screw you. I don't care if you're suffering or sucking at creating video games. It isn't a thing that you can just buy.
Yeah,
so piss off. There, that's all I'm saying.
I mean, Crucible was a thing. No one remembers it. I remember everything. I remember when it came out.
Everything.
I remember when it got released. I remember when it got unreleased. And then I remember when it got cancelled. All in the space of a few months. Also, the full story which I read on Bloomberg, which is by Jason Schreier, I highly recommend that you go and check out the full story. It goes into a lot more detail and talks about the people involved and why some of these problems exist, such as Amazon deciding instead of using a different engine, they wanted to create their own engine, which has gone swimmingly. That was sarcasm. It's actually gone really, really badly. And yeah, it's a fascinating look into like how much Amazon have fucked this up. Like, how long have they been a game development studio? And I feel like we've been hearing about this for years. They've done nothing. They've hired a bunch of people. Those people have left because, like, the guy in charge of the Amazon games division had never made a game before. He was a books guy from Amazon. And someone at Amazon was just like, we're making a games division. You were good at the books thing. You should run the games division. I left that silencing intentionally for the audio listeners to just really hammer home the point of how stupid that is. Like, they've put all of these games into development and they've hired all of these really talented, like, I assume leads like Kim Swift and Clint Hawking, and I assume they've hired some really talented developers on the back of it as well. But it's just like, is anyone making a game there? Is anyone making a passion project there? Like, is anyone, because the two games that the one game that we've seen that doesn't exist anymore, and the one game that's upcoming, both feel like that it's a hero shooter and an MMO. It just sounds like those are games that Amazon are making because those are popular games that will make lots of money. Because those types of games make lots of money.
Who has no experience. He's literally just typed in popular video games genres.
What's Fortnite? And it's just like, is anyone there making something they want to make? Truly want to make? Because that's how you make money. Yep. That's how you gain acclaim. That's how you gain acclaim in the video game industry. You make fucking The Last of Us. You make Uncharted. You make God of War. You make Mario. You make things that you want to make.
Yeah, Zelda. The Mass Effect.
You take the Cliff Bleszinski route and you make fucking Radical Heights and your company goes out of business. And I liked Lawbreakers. I thought it was a great game. But even that was just like, we're just going to make a hero shooter because hero shooters are a thing. And now I can't play Lawbreakers anymore. Anyway. Rant over. Let's talk about Mass Effect. Mass Effect returns. BioWare talks trilogy tweaks and franchise revival. This is from Tom Phillips, over at Eurogamer, who writes, Mass Effect back. The legendary edition of BioWare's beloved trilogy launches on the 14th of May, and Shepard's aging space adventures have never looked better. We have plenty of detail on all the upgrades this remaster brings to Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 below. Which they do. Go over and check it out on Eurogamer. There's like videos and all sorts, but I'm just going to read some of the stuff. But of course, there's more to this impending revival than all that. Sitting down with BioWare to discuss the changes and look to the future, the fact Mass Effect is back on the schedule at all seems like something worth celebrating, considering where the franchise seemed to have been left a few years ago. For fans, there's been an anxious wait for news on whether Mass Effect would continue until the twin announcements late last year of the remastered trilogy, and a brand new, still very far off continuation of the series. Let fans breathe once. Let me try that again while I try to breathe, because that was a sentence with very few punctuation marks. Let fans once again breathe. Easy. Whew. They talked to BioWare. So first, some specifics. The Mass Effect Trilogy's Legendary Edition includes 4K support and HDR compatibility, plus 60 FPS on PC and consoles from PS4 Pro / Xbox One Series X forwards. On PC, it adds support for controllers and 21:9 widescreen displays. As expected, all 3 games and all single-player DLCs are included, apart from one that they can't include in Mass Effect 1 called Pinnacle Station. There's no multiplayer mode, no additional story elements, and no version yet for Nintendo Switch. Mass Effect 1, by far the most dated-looking of the trilogy, has undergone a particularly extensive rework with dramatic improvements to some of its environments. The results on planets such as Eden Prime, Ilos, and Pharos look, on first impression, far closer to a full remake. ME1 has also seen other tweaks, including fan-requested improvements to the Mako vehicle's often wildly erratic driving experience, various combat changes, and much faster Citadel lifts. Thank fuck. That's not what it says in the story. That was fine. That was all me. Differences across the whole trilogy include remastered character models, an expanded universal character creator, and the option to use ME3's default female Shepard model throughout. There are noticeable improvements to Shepard's range of available skin tones, hairstyles, and makeup options for a more diverse range of possibilities. Overall, BioWare says there are tens of thousands of updated textures, shaders, visual lighting, visual effects, and lighting changes, plus a new bokeh-style depth of field. Check out the full thing at Eurogamer, there's tons more over there. I want to
also check out the trailer as well. The trailer is hype.
The trailer is good.
The trailer's good, man. That music... Damn, man, I forget how good that Mass Effect soundtrack is, man. That soundtrack is just so good. And it's like... Oh, it is hype. The trailer is a great trailer. Which is funny, the trailer... Like, I didn't find this out until literally when I watched the What's Good Games reveal. I was talk about it with... I can't remember her name. Red-haired girl.
Andrea,
that's it. Thank you very much.
it's fine.
I'm a terrible with names,
Me?
ladies and gentlemen. I do apologise.
Me?
Another red-haired girl other than Amy.
It's orange, actually.
Okay. Fine, okay. But yeah. That the date was May 15th because the trailer never said May 15th. It had no trailer whatsoever. And I was like, wait, what? No, it didn't have a date at all. I was like, wait, what? Okay, so when's this coming out? And then eventually it's May 15th, which I was really happy about. And of May 14th, should I say? I was saying 15th. My apologies there. What I saw looked really, really good from the stills. It's a little bit worrying that they wouldn't show us like clips of the game, but apparently going off what all the people I've watched talk about it, saying they're heavy in polishing this game right now. The game is ready to just polishing, QA testing and polishing like crazy for it, which hopefully they aren't crunching for it. I'm looking at you, BioWare. And they're doing a good job for it, but yeah.
You trying to imply that BioWare would hold back showing gameplay of a game for some nefarious purpose? Are you saying that BioWare would ever do that, ever in the history of video games?
Is that the question?
I was trying to keep a straight face.
I know you were. But no, I do hope this is going to be great. I do hope that they hit it and it comes out brilliant. I am looking forward to playing this trilogy again. I told you off air, I bought the trilogy. I bought it on PC. I'm ready to go. Ready to install it, go for 60 frames per second, play it on a controller, and just smash it like crazy with all the 40 pieces of DLC and everything. And I'm looking forward to this. Please don't fuck this up.
I did agree to do a podcast about it, so I guess I got to play it as well.
Yeah, Amy, what's your problems with Mass Effect 3?
Shut up, Mooney. They can't fuck up a remaster, right? Like, they can't fuck up a remaster.
You would hope not.
This is the easiest thing in the world, like, comparatively. I know all video game development is a nightmare, and it's impossible, and it should never happen. But this is easy. This is easy street. This isn't making Anthem. They're remastering one of the most beloved video game trilogies of all time. I'm just going to throw it out there. Like, it is. Even I love it. Most of it.
She does. Most of it.
And I'm looking forward to playing. You know what? I'm looking forward to playing all of it again, right? It's been, what has it been? 9 years since Mass Effect 3? Like...
Yeah, it was 2012, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like 2012. Something like that. I'm looking forward to playing it again with an entirely new perspective. Like, feels like a lifetime ago since I played Mass Effect 3, really, like, there's so many changes in my life. It'd be hard to list them all. I'm having fun tonight. You were right, by the way, at the top of this podcast. You're right, I'm having fun tonight.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Let's talk EA investors updates.
They
I'm
made
talking
money,
way
that's
more
it.
about Mass Effect later this year. I just made some bullet points. There was about 4 or 5 different news stories on GamesIndustry.biz that I pulled all of this information from.
Yep.
Because apparently they couldn't just make it one story; it had to be multiples. Okay, so for the 3 months leading to December 31st, EA's net bookings were up 19% to $2.4 billion. Revenues were up 5% to $1.67 billion. Net income dipped 40% to $211 million. EA Live Services grew 24% to $1.5 billion. Full game sales were up 10% to $858 million. Those are the high level numbers, the EA numbers. Everything went up except income.
Yeah.
Except the net income, which went down. All in all, they're going to make billions of dollars by the end of the financial year. Is anyone surprised? I'm not surprised. No one's surprised. Let's talk some individual games. Apex Legends saw 30% growth year over year in new players. FIFA Ultimate Team saw a record 6 million active daily players in December. The Sims 4 reached 33 million players, hitting new high marks for daily, weekly, and monthly average players in December. And then these were fun because of the news we talked about a couple of weeks ago. EA's partnership with Disney has generated $3 billion in revenue, and EA has sold 52 million Star Wars games. Just in general.
Boycott Battlefront 2 really worked, guys.
Hey.
Girls.
I stand by not playing Battlefront 2.
So do I, so I'm good. And I own the game now on Epic. Thank you, Epic.
I own the game on PlayStation because it was a PS Plus game and on Epic because it was a free Epic game. It's like Resident Evil.
Oh, yeah.
It was a PS Plus game, so I own it on PlayStation. It's now this month a Games with Gold game, so I own it on Xbox and I own it on PC because that's where I originally bought it for the mods, for the randomizers. So I was like, I actually could play Resident Evil anywhere. I could play it
anywhere.
I could play it on 3 things at once if I wanted to.
Sweet.
But yeah, it's like he is doing well. Like the like I don't know how to word this. The crunch of the upcoming financial downturn hasn't truly hit it yet. People still have money. Some people still have money, so they need something to do because a lot of them are locked in their houses, and video games is something to do. So numbers will go up. Apex Legends saw 30% growth year over year in new players. I wonder what was different at the end of 2020 compared to the end of 2019. Given that Apex is a free game and anybody can download it.
Like you and me and Keith smashed that game for what, like 6 months?
Weird. It was weird. Like, it was like it was from March to like July time. We totally smashed Apex Legends, and then it kind of tailed off a little bit, almost like from March 2020 to July 2020. There was something that was happening that allowed us a lot of time to play a lot of Apex Legends.
It really was. Yeah, I don't know what it was though. I don't know.
Which, to be fair, like we would still probably be playing quite a bit if Among Us hadn't have taken off in our massively expanded social group, which is still growing, and obviously Phasmophobia is a thing that we play now.
And Fall Guys,
we play Fall Guys together.
Yeah.
So yeah, the pandemic is doing some things, good things for certain video game publishers, I guess. And they've sold a lot of Star Wars games. A lot of Jedi Fallen Order, I'd imagine. That game was on sales lists for all of 2020.
I still say Battlefront outsold both of them.
I don't know, and I can't be bothered to find out. Instead, let's talk about my two of my favorite things, Randy Pitchford and THQ Nordic. Borderlands developer Gearbox acquired by Embracer Group in $1.3 billion deal. This is from Michael McWhirter over at Polygon, who writes, Borderlands developer Gearbox Software is now part of the Embracer Group, the parent company that includes publishing and development studios THQ Nordic, Saber Interactive, Koch Media, Deep Silver, and Coffee Stain Studios. Embracer's acquisition of Gearbox, namely the Gearbox Entertainment Company, which encompasses Gearbox Software and Gearbox Publishing, is worth $1.378 billion according to a news release. Gearbox founder and CEO Randy Pitchford called the transaction, quote, not merely a stimulant for the talent of our employee-owned company, but a propellant for the exciting future we have planned, end quote. According to a news release, the deal enables the expansion of talent at Gearbox Studios, the creation of new Gearbox Studios, and expanded partnerships. During a Q&A session hosted by Embracer Group, Pitchford indicated the deal will not impact the future and existing games in the popular Borderlands franchise. Quote, we love our relationship with Take-Two and the 2K Games label, and we are committed to working together through all of the known and planned Borderlands work that we have going on. I anticipate that we'll continue and make new opportunities together. End quote. Pitchford later clarified that Gearbox has, quote, a relationship with Take-Two where we've agreed on certain rights for exploitation of the IP. The IP is a Gearbox IP, end quote. No, not end quote. No, yes, end quote, because the next quote is from 2K Games. Quote, as the proud publisher of the Borderlands franchise, we are happy for our partners at Gearbox in this exciting new chapter for their organisation. The merger does not change 2K's relationship with Gearbox, nor our role as the publisher for the Borderlands IP or any other projects we are currently working on with the studio. We look forward to continuing our long-term partnership with this incredibly talented team and delivering many more exciting entertainment experiences to gaming fans around the world. End quote.
I don't care.
Great.
I'm just going to be honest. Like, great. Like, this is how crazy it is. At the end of like I came back, like I said in this episode already. Like, I was late to the game in like the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 area, but I've always stated one of my favorite games of that era was Borderlands 2. I absolutely adored that game. I thought it was absolutely fantastic, and I stand by that to this day. But then Aliens Colonial Marines came out, and then Randy Pitchford just turned into even more of a douchebag and went even more douchey. And then other douchey things came out. And then Borderlands 3 came out, was announced, and he became even more of a douche.
Hey, Randy, did you ever find that USB pen?
Yeah, did you ever find that? I'm curious. Like, I've said it before and I'll say it again. As long as he's there, I can't have any hype for this company at all, or even their games anymore, which sucks because, like I say, Borderlands 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. I absolutely adored that game. And the DLC for it and everything. I thought they really did a really good job for that game. But him still being attached to this company just makes me just go, oh, for God's sakes, man. I just have no hype or enthusiasm for Gearbox, which sucks. Wow, you've made more money, Random Picture. Congratulations. Piss off now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the deal does not, like, remove him as Gearbox CEO. He's still going to be there with his porn on his USB drives, assaulting employees in hotels. These are just the ones I can remember off the top of my head. Lying about aliens, colonial marines. Lying about aliens, colonial marines. Passive-aggressively trying to start shit with Jim Sterling on Ryan McCaffrey's podcast show interview thing.
Yeah, I tried to say it. A really big guy.
Yeah, don't
has a hard on for me. I can't remember his name. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
We know who you do. Even Ryan McCaffrey knew who you were talking about. He wasn't going to say who it was. He was waiting for you to say who it was. Dude, it's like,
again,
off, dude.
Yeah, this is just the stuff I remember about Randy Pitchford. They joined the Embracer Group.
Aliens Colonial Marines, after it was done and after we got it all fixed, it was a good 7 out of 10 game. 7 out of 10 games. I hate the argument. I'd rather have 7 out of 7 games than 1 9 to 10 out of 10 game. Fuck off.
depends. How long is this 9 or 10 out of 10 game? Like, are we talking like Journey? Or are we talking like Yakuza? Or Persona? It's fine though, because he's in good company, because they've joined the Embracer group, who also own THQ Nordic. You know, that one company that did that AMA on 8chan. A message board which is delisted from Google because that's where you find child porn. So they're you know, it's just
He's with his people.
He's with his people.
He's with his people after long last.
Maybe if we could just get them all in one. And I mean, that's not, you know, Deep Silver. I mean, I was going to say Koch Media, but, you know, I have a significant problem with the Koch brothers. But, like, you know, Deep Silver, Coffee Stain Studios, they're all cool. You know what I mean? Like, but you just put THQ Nordic and Randy Pitchford side by side, and it's just like, oh no.
Oh, there's a smell that can't be
gone.
That's
oh
no.
That's an incident waiting to happen.
Tell about something. We'll know something by the end of the year. Well, something's happened by the end of the year.
Something's gonna fucking go horrifically wrong. I can't be bothered talking about Valve lawsuits. Cool. So we're gonna skip to the tidbits, the few little bullet points I put for things that I wanted to talk about, but things that I couldn't be bothered to copy entire news stories about. The first one was that apparently Nintendo cancelled the live-action Legend of Zelda series in 2015 due to leaks, which I'm kind of glad about.
What were these leaks?
The leaks were 6 years ago. I don't remember what the leaks were.
Right.
Don't make me go and find a news story and read a news story, you bastard. That's exactly what I didn't want to do.
Okay, that's true.
I think it was just the leak of there was actually a Legend of Zelda Netflix series happening. Yeah. And I kind of think everybody assumed it was fake. But then it wasn't. But now it's not. Yeah, Legend of Zelda Netflix series was in the works, but Nintendo cancelled the project after leaks.
Nintendo are taking severe baby steps to getting back into the movie sphere.
Yeah, well,
like, you know. I'm still like whenever there's Mario game films happening from Illumination Studios, it's going to be fascinating when we see that.
Yeah. Someone within Netflix leaked. Oh my god! I don't want you to send me notification. Fuck off. This is why I don't use websites when I'm doing this show. Someone within Netflix leaked the Legend of Zelda adaptation, which caused Nintendo to cancel a slate of projects, including the Zelda adaptation and Star Fox claymation shows. Which is a bit of an overreaction. Like, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know how. Like, I can't picture a live action Legend of Zelda TV show, and when I try, all I can remember is the live action Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh no!
I feel like if you're gonna make some sort of series about Legend of Zelda, you should probably just make it an anime, right?
Probably, yeah. Or just not do one and just do great games.
Yeah, or just not do one and give me Breath of the Wild 2.
Which you are getting. Just when we don't.
Eventually. Had that really creepy trailer from E3. That was super creepy. Mm-hmm. And I watch it every now and again because it's just a really, really good trailer. Speaking of movies, TV shows, I made you laugh so hard when I showed you these two things because you said this last week on our podcast. Netflix and MGM are both making movies about the GameStop stock situation.
Big Short 2, baby. I knew it.
Netflix is doing an adaptation which is going to be more about the sort of the internet culture side of the things. MGM have optioned a book written by the guy who wrote the book that ended up being the Social Network movie about Facebook. So he's writing a book. Then the book's going to happen, and MGM have optioned the movie rights to that book.
Let's hope the book's good.
I always hope the book's good. Right? You have to hope, right? Because it's like, oh, what if this sucks? Yeah, it'll be fine. I'll. Do you want to do 10 bets? I'll do a 10 bet. They get Aaron Sorkin to make the movie.
I think they'll get the guy who did The Big Short. I can't remember that guy's name.
Probably Aaron Sorkin. Be funny.
No, it's not.
I know it's not Aaron Sorkin.
Big Short was directed by Adam McKay.
Adam McKay. Why do I know that name?
He directed The Big Short and Vice.
I've seen The Big Shot.
Have you seen Vice?
Nobody wrote Ant-Man.
Yeah.
That's why I know his name. Oh, he was the Anchorman guy.
Yeah. Let's get on to games out next week, ladies.
Whoa. Biggest news story of the week. Skipping over there, Mooney.
Wait, have we already talked about this one? Or was it number 1? No, that was Google Stadia. Then it was Ori director bitching.
Capcom released a statement on Twitter that looked exactly like an apology post, by the way, which was really funny. That they expressed gratitude, that everybody was enthusiastic about the tall vampire lady in Resident Evil Village.
Yeah, enthusiastic is the right word.
And confirmed that she is 9'6" tall, including heels and hat. So guess what happened, Moody? It all erupted again.
Yeah, I can believe that.
And everybody was talking about the tall vampire lady from Resident Evil.
I'm afraid to type in vampire lady from Resident Evil on Google.
I would be too. Do you have safe search on?
Yes. But I kind of want to take it off just to see what craziness comes my way here, but I won't do that. Let's get into games out next week, ladies and gentlemen. There's only 2.
Don't read quickly because I need to pee. Don't read them too quick.
Don't read them too quickly. Okay.
I mean, don't take the piss either.
Okay.
See what I did there?
I want to read them quickly, ladies and gentlemen. February 2nd, Little Nightmares 2, PC, PlayStation 4, and the Xbox One and Google Stadia. Remember that Google Stadia? It's basically going to shut down soon, so don't worry. Little Nightmares 2 is a suspense adventure game in which you play as Momo, a young boy trapped in a world that has been distorted by evil transmission. Together with a new friend, Six, he sets out to discover the source of the transmission. And finally, February 6th, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, the Nintendo Switch. The NS is Nintendo Switch, so this is the Little Nightmares is not with the Google Stadia. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Pounce and climb through dozens of colorful courses. Mario and his friends can use a variety of power-ups like the Super Bell, which grants cat-like abilities like climbing and scratching. Enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. Amy's pick of the week is Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. And so is mine, because I'm lazy.
Is it?
But there we go.
I thought it would have been Little Nightmares.
Yeah.
You know, the one that you're going to play as opposed to the one that you're not going to play.
So?
I'm just saying. Hey, if that's your pick of the week, then that's your pick of the week.
My pick of the week, yeah. That's my pick of the week, yeah. That's my pick of the week. It's a shame no one could have picked this for OpenCritic because it's probably going to get a freaking high A.
What's what? What? Which?
It's a shame.
Mario.
It's a shame.
Yes.
No. It's a shame no one could pick it for Fantasy Critic because it's probably going to get a high A.
No one could have. Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it. Little Nightmares 2. I wasn't as into Little Nightmares as everyone else back when that game came out. So I'm intrigued by it because I'm always intrigued by spooky horror games. But
spooky.
You know what you're getting with a Super Mario platforming game.
That's true, you do.
So I'm looking forward to just sitting back and chilling and enjoying it. It'll be a less stressful experience than Super Mario Brothers 35, which was enjoyable, but also kind of stressful. Turns out if you turn something into any battle royale is stressful in some way.
It's insane.
Should we move on to OpenCritic head-to-head?
Why not, Amy? Let's finish this up and sort it all out.
This is OpenCritic head-to-head. A game myself and Moody play every single week at the end of every single podcast when this game's coming out, where we try to guess the upcoming average of one upcoming game. Whoever guesses closest gets 1 point. If you manage to guess the score correctly, you get 2 points. That's it. It's the whole game. Very simple rules. At one point, I thought about making the rules like 3 times more complicated, and I was like, why? No. And then people were like, it should be Price is Right rules, where if you go over, you don't get a point, even if you're closest. And I was like, we're not doing that either.
It's not a bad idea, that, but I can understand the rules. So I'm happy with it.
It's like, we could, out of 50 possible week scoring points, we scored 3. Because the amount of times we go way over whatever game we're guessing is it happens. It happens a lot. We're too optimistic, Moody. Case in point.
Yeah.
Last week, we tried to guess the OpenCritic average of Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood. I guessed it would get an OpenCritic average of 72. Moody guessed it would get an OpenCritic average of 75. And, at the time of recording, Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood has an OpenCritic average of 54.
55.
55. It's gone up by 1.
Yeah.
Well, it was a 59 when I looked this morning, so I think we're just arguing semantics at this point.
That's true, yeah.
So that leaves the scores: Amy 2, Moody 0 with 1 draw. I've guessed closest on the medium and Werewolf. The draw was Hitman 3. I got hit with a karma stick though last week, where it was like Hitman 3 was a draw, and then the score changed to where Moody would have scored 2 points, and I kind of went ha ha in Messenger. And then I changed my score for the medium to avoid it being a draw, and the medium's OpenCritic average was the score I originally would have guessed.
Hey.
So that I got screwed too.
Yeah. It could be 3-0 up instead of just 2.
Yeah, technically, I guess the scores should really be 3-2. But they shouldn't, because that's not how the rules work. This week, we're going to guess the OpenCritic average for Little Nightmares 2.
70.
70. We started out at Hitman 3, and literally we've just gotten lower and lower every week. Just like, like, I don't know if you've noticed, right, on OpenCritic, but like, apart from Hitman 3, which came out to like really good reviews, it's currently, I think, at an 86, like, the games that are coming out aren't doing very well.
Nope.
And I'm going to be honest, I've played some of them, and I can kind of see where they're coming from. Like, 2021 hasn't gotten off to the greatest of starts in terms of games like that have been released.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a shame, because I think we're all hyped for for what the year could potentially be, but it's like it's an auspicious start to the year.
Yeah. January's over. February's a new month.
February is a new month, and in February we're getting like Persona 5 Strikers, so it's a Persona 5 spin-off. It's going to be amazing. May is going to be good.
Number,
69. Did you even ask?
of course you're going to go below me. I knew you were.
Like I said, I didn't dig Little Nightmares that much.
Well, on OpenCritic, the first one only has a 70.
Does it?
Yeah.
So I did no research. A lot of people talk fondly about that game whenever they're talking about Little Nightmares 2, so I just assumed it had a higher score. So I did not know that. I assumed it was like around 80. So, no, I've gone 69 because I'm very mature. It's worked for me in the past.
Yes.
I also have the demo on my PlayStation.
Oh no, I'm wrong. I apologize. I'm wrong. It's a 79.
I thought it was going to be higher. I thought 70 was a bit
I
low.
apologize there. The critic recommendation is 71. That's, I think, the one I looked at the most at, and I
I hate
apologize
that.
there.
I think I've explained it on the podcast in the past because I used to be on OpenCritic, like when I was scoring reviews, and you have to do it manually, right? So you put the thing in, and then like you have to put your own paragraph in. You know the paragraphs that are on the the reviews, the summaries. You put your own paragraph in, so you choose that, and then you input the score. You also have to input what your scoring metric is, because obviously not everyone does out of 10. So you do all that, and then at the end of it, it's like, do you recommend this game? And I don't know if it's still the same. It was a few years ago, but it says like, only check this box if you recommend this game without like any caveats. So I always looked at that box for every single review I put up on OpenCritic, and I was like, do you recommend this game without caveats? Like, no, I don't recommend any game without caveats. Who recommends games without caveats? Like, like there's gonna be people out there who don't like Bloodborne, like, and I'm not gonna recommend Bloodborne to them. And that's one of my favorite games ever. So I wouldn't even check that box for Bloodborne. And I always got really confused by it. And I don't understand why it's there, right? Like, it's an average of the score. And then if you want to see what individual critics thought, you scroll down and it tells you. But there's also a percentage of critics recommended, which is a different number to the top critic average. I don't know. Basically, I love OpenCritic. I think it's really cool. But I've always taken issue with the recommendation system.
Yeah.
Because it's weird.
Yeah, it's been
it's
a mix.
unnecessary.
Recommendation thing is just silly. Like it's like the audience score on Metacritic or Rotten Tomatoes. It's like they're useless. There's no point of having them. They're just a waste of time.
Yeah, it's like Neo 2, the complete edition, 88 top critic average, 100% critics recommended. So literally every critic recommended Neo 2, the complete collection. Now, if you want to hop across to the Neo collection, 89 top critic average, so higher score. 80% critic recommended. So how does that even make sense?
It makes sense. It doesn't make sense that whatsoever.
Like, basically numbers and reviews. There's a reason we don't do reviews anymore. At least not the way we used to. The way that
we don't give scores. We just say,
I just tell you what I think.
Play it. It's bad. Don't play it. It's in the middle. Make up your mind.
But yeah, we just talk about them with each other now, which is it's nice. It's nice. Trying to make 2 or 3 impressions video, edited scripted impressions videos a week wasn't nice.
Okay. Oh. Excuse me. Sorry.
Like, it took me a long time. It took me a long time to like get out of. So like and it took me a while to figure this out, but like pre 2018, when I was doing a lot, shall we say, like an absurd, insane amount of work, and it was like, I was just keeping myself busy so I didn't have to think about my own life. And it took me a while of therapy to realize that that's what I was doing. But then even after that, even after A, I had figured out I was trans, B, then come out as trans, and C, figured out that the reason I used to work myself near to death was because I was just trying to avoid thinking about things. It still took me ages to be able to like then throttle back on like the amount of stuff I was doing. Because like, I used to do a lot and now I don't. And there's still that part of my brain which is just like, you're not working hard enough. And it's like, no, I'm working normally now. Like,
I'm working more efficiently and more better, and I'm having fun, which is important.
Like,
the thing I want to do.
I'm not doing my podcast, someone else's podcast, reviews for my site, reviews for somebody else's site, as fast as humanly possible. like while also maintaining a 30-hour a week day job, and now I'm doing 2 podcasts for our site, streaming a bit whenever I feel like it.
Yeah.
Having fun with video games again.
Mm-hmm. I'm hoping I'm going to have my internet's going to be reasonably stable enough where I would love to be able to stream the Mass Effect Legendary Edition when it comes out.
I would love to watch that.
I would love to play that. I think that'd be brilliant to play.
I'd be in chat during Mass Effect 1. I'm going to ask so many annoying questions. It'll be like my Halo revenge. I'm going to be so
I'll
annoying.
just be like, time this show blobs out. There we go.
Oh, I'll make so many accounts. You'll always know it's me. Like, what would happen?
You'd be like Joe Bloods too.
Yeah, I'll have to make a personal Twitch account if you ever did that, because I can't exactly log into mine. Maybe I'll just pretend to be the bot.
Or you create your own, but I stream on yours.
On Words About Games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll have to create my
Yeah.
own to chat because you'll be logged in.
Yeah.
We'll figure it.
Did we just get our wires crossed there a little bit, or did my brain get my wires crossed?
The wires got crossed a little bit. No, I was talking about making my own. So if you were on Words About Games,
yeah.
It's going to do it for episode 242 of the Words About Games podcast. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thank you.
It was a good one. Keep it up, games industry.
Yeah. We had some good stories, some fun stories to talk about, some not so surprising stories, some douchebaggery stories that we just got through, told them how we felt, and it was just like boom, 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 boom. We were fast, we were efficient. I like this episode.
We were fast. But
and the biggest important thing, ladies and gentlemen, the vampire lady is 9 foot
6 inches.
That is the biggest important news, which we don't talk about until the end of the episode.
It's the nice news you cap the podcast off with.
That's true.
See you later.
Boy.
I'm tangled up in the cable. I got this.
You got this.